Thank you.
Okay.
I forgot to.
I know, like my brain has been so not functional lately. All right, here we go. Sorry, you guys, if you're watching this on video, you missed a couple of minutes here. All right, so we did front of the head. We're going to push head into the hand. We're going to bring hand to the back of the head. So again, we're pushing head and hand together. Just trying to get these neck muscles to strengthen a little bit, especially when we're doing this stretching. We want to have some strength in there as well. All right, and then we're going to do side to side. Some people will kind of bring their hand over the top of the head and push in. I tend to do like hand on the side. So again, pushing hand and head together, breathing, lengthening the spine, letting your shoulders drop down. The yoga, we're always trying to have this awareness of what's going on instead of forgetting things like I did. And then we're going to take it to the other side. So I'm just going to use my other hand now. And I'm going to press head and hand together. Actually feels nice in my shoulders too, my shoulder blade area. All right, and then we're gonna let that go. We're gonna circle the shoulders. So we're just gonna try to loosen up a little bit here so we can be a little more comfortable as we talk a bit about the throat chakra. If you can grab hold of your right wrist, you're gonna bend a little bit to your left side. If that hurts, just hand on your leg, bend a little bit to the side. And then back to center. We're gonna take it to the other side. Ooh, holding onto your left wrist, tipping a bit to your right. Breath. And then we're going to come back to center. Let's do a little forward fold. So if you want to do this standing, fine. If you want to do it seated, fine. Just hands on your legs. Ease your way forward, making sure your chair is not rolling or sliding out from under you if you're in your chair. Take a breath. So I heard today from Emily that you guys have, or we're going to come back up, that you guys have one of those hypervolt massage guns, which I had the opportunity to try at an Exo site yesterday.
Oh yeah, we got one of those.
I've been having all these neck problems. I used it on my shoulder. Oh my God. So kind of interesting in relation to, this throat chakra, right? So what can we do to balance out that energy with those massage guns? So we got to go carefully with the neck, but if you have that opportunity to kind of work on it, maybe in your upper back and in your shoulder area, a little interesting thought there. All right, let's stretch our hips. We're going to bring right ankle on top of left thigh. If this isn't good for your knee, just cross knees and we're going to lean forward. I was having all of this, like, I think my head's too far forward. I think I have text neck. So I've been having all this stress in the front of my neck, which I was pretty sure was coming from my back. I felt like I was having trouble swallowing, and just using that massage gun really more on my shoulder blade area just really helped. Like it was like 1,000% better. It's not completely healed, but so much better. All right. If you haven't tried it yet, get into the gym, try it out. We're going to change sides. So left ankle on top of right thigh. And then maybe we'll be able to speak. Yeah, I don't have the right words for that today. I need to work on my throat chakra. So maybe we'll be able to communicate more effectively just by using that massage gun and trying to balance out the energy in our necks. All right, and let's do a twist. So we're going to come back up. We're going to twist our spine. Just twisting gently to your right side. Hands can really rest on either leg, but if we're twisting to the right, if you can bring this left hand to the outside of your right leg, lengthen up your spine, soften your abdomen. Now we're going to come back through center. And twisting to the opposite side, lengthen up the spine, soften the abdomen. Big full breath. And then back to center. Let's do arms up overhead. Nice big stretch up. We need a better shoulder stretch. So let's try to do hands behind us. So you could do this standing again, or if you can just turn in your chair, get enough room there. Interlace fingers together behind your back. Pull your hands down. So you're pulling those shoulders in and down. Breath. And then we're just going to gently bring hands up away from the body. And exhale them all down. All right, shake out. So feel free, you know, you guys are off camera, so you're still twisting and moving around and stretching your arms up overhead while we kind of go through the presentation. You know, you're not going to bother anybody, so feel free to kind of move around and circle your shoulders as we go. All right, share screen. Here we go. All right, all I'm gonna do, there we go. Okay, so Vishuddha chakra, the throat chakra. And so just as this reminder, right, so we were talking about the 7 major chakras from the tailbone all the way up to the top of the head. So now we're at the 5th of 7, we're at the throat. And so the chakras are the energy centers, these major energy centers in the body that also correspond with our mental well-being. Yeah, I'm going to say that. And so by balancing our chakras, it helps to promote mental and physical well-being. So some of it really is kind of more, a lot of it, because we're talking about energy centers, a lot of it's really energetic. I think it's really a lot about our thoughts and how we change our thoughts, as well as, you know, how we're really using the physical body to change how we're feeling and affect these energy centers. So base of the throat, the color associated with the throat chakra is blue. The element is space, ether, sound, vibration. The seed sound here is spelled like ham, but sounds like hum. So hum, just like we did with the B sound. So this is said to be the center that purifies and harmonizes opposites. There's a lot of like very complex myths that I read in, you know, kind of researching the throat chakra. And one's this big long story about, I think, really families that are battling it out, and somehow there's this poison that arises, and then they don't know what to do with it because somebody's going to get hurt from this poison plant. And so someone takes it to Shiva, who's deep in meditation, and how do we get rid of this poison? And Shiva just eats it and purifies it, and nothing happens to him. And I think there's something about him having like a blue throat. So there's, you know, these deep stories, these very complex myths that go along with pretty much everything in yoga. But that was kind of the gist of that one. So it's this thought that his throat purified this poison. The 5th chakra is associated with verbal communication. So we get that, right? The throat, this is where sound comes from. So all of our sounds are vibration. So that's the ether sort of aspect, is just that vibration. But because we're getting more and more into these, you know, layers of getting into wisdom, now it's said that when our throat chakra is really balanced, that, you know, we're also receptive to telepathic communication. So we're receptive to vibration other than sound. So sound and subtle vibrations all around us. And that, again, because of this purifying concept, it's about truthful communication. And in communication that's of a positive healing nature. So as though what's, you know, sort of passing through our vocal cords is being purified. So even things that, you know, maybe a little bit more negative, that we're, you know, when our throat chakra is balanced, we're able to just release these things out in a more positive, healing manner. And then it's also associated with a clear, uncluttered mind. So the first two, the lower chakras, the root and the sacral chakra, are more associated with this concept of tamasic, which is a little bit more of a sluggish energy. And then the navel or the solar plexus chakra and the heart chakra then are more associated with rajasic energy, which is a little more, so you can imagine like our digestive juices, our heart, there's a lot more energy going on. And now at the throat chakra, we're getting into this more sattvic state. So there's more balanced energy. So if we've done all this work at the lower levels, now we're getting into this state of being balanced. But also if you think about those, bottom two chakras and then the middle two chakras, I'm going to call them the middle, being a more sluggish energy and then a more, intense energy, how those combined then start to create balance. And so when we get to the throat, we've got all of these energies below that are creating this balance. So everything is this holistic perspective. Blue is the color of the throat chakra. So blue is said to be pure, soothing, calming, healing. Blue is the color of communication. Why that is, I'm not exactly sure, but we're going with it. Providing us with the power of speaking the truth. Blue allows the body and the mind to experience stillness. It represents a pure mind that is uncluttered from any negative thought. And so again, the sense of purity. So now we're getting into the state of just pure thoughts. So vibration, sound, communication. We know that sound has the ability to alter how we feel. So we know that music can really change how we're feeling. I have one student who's a professional musician, and so he always brings me like these little interesting perspectives about, sound and how it changes. Just the vibration and the, just like that. He talks about it sometimes as being like in the room, I tend to not play loud music. But he talks about it just being a container, which I think is interesting, right? That it sort of gives us this little, it like almost gives us our own little space sometimes when there's music being played in a room, because you're kind of tuning out some of the other noises of people. So he talks about just that vibration of the sound, just kind of creating this little container, like this little sacred space from that vibration of sound. So we know it can alter our mood, right? It can make us sad sometimes. Certain songs, kind of make us like a little bit teary, and other things make us like really up and happy. So vibration also has the possibility to facilitate healing because it's changing, how we're feeling internally. Speaking, writing, and expressing our feelings can also change how we feel. So even if you're not, physically speaking the words through your vocal cords, writing, journaling, that kind of thing, just expressing our feelings can change how we feel, and also again have this potential for healing when we're communicating clearly versus when we're kind of bumping up against somebody else, we're not really understanding one another. There's a lot of stress and tension that happens, and sometimes we can see it, but we don't know how to change it. Like we can see we're not communicating well and how everything's just kind of hitting, but when we're able to communicate clearly, we can create this sort of healing energy. We can move past those tense situations. Space. So it's associated with space and ether. So again, it's like this vibration is space and ether. Space opens the possibility of an expansion of perspective. It symbolizes the energy of seeking and speaking the truth. The Throat Chakra governs our internal communication with our true self. Yoga is very much about finding what, what's termed the true self, which is more just our pure spirit, rather than, all these impressions and interpretations and things that happen in our brains that sort of shape who we are. But when we strip all of that, external thought away, and we come down to our pure essence. So when this throat chakra is balanced, we're able to really communicate clearly with our true self. So we know more what we really want, rather than trying to be so in our heads and figuring out, we really get that sense of communicating with our spirit, with our heart. When this chakra is balanced, we're able to listen to the guidance of pure energy. We're able to understand others deeply and effectively. In the Yoga Sutras, it talks about being the witness. It's one of my favorite things about the Yoga Sutras. Is there's a few concepts in there that really resonate for me. And so being the witness is pulling back from all of our interpretations and just being able to really see what's unfolding without thinking, how does this affect me? Is this about me? What do I think about this person? We put all these things into good and bad people, which were so much more complex than that. And so when our throat chakra is imbalanced, we're able to just really see clearly and, who that other person is and understand them. So again, this sense of communication, that we're able to just really see them and hear what they're saying. Sometimes I'm hesitant to put in the signs of a blocked chakra, but here we go. Hesitation in expressing emotions, lacking the vocabulary to describe our feelings. I don't know if anybody watched, I think it's on HBO, the Brene Brown recent special that she did, I think it's a 5-part series, something of the heart, and it's really all about the word, what are the right words to describe our feelings. It's kind of interesting. So to really be able to express our emotions, that this is her thing, was that we need to have the right words to really express, what is this, what am I feeling, and how do I describe it to myself and to other people. Feeling misunderstood by others. So again, if we're not communicating clearly, if we're not really in touch with our own emotions, then we're not communicating clearly, then other people are not going to understand us. Aggressive behavior. I feel like this one has come up in every chakra. I feel like this has been everyone that's not balanced. We've all been aggressive because our chakras aren't balanced, which is definitely, I think, true. Use of negative words and actions. So of course I'm interpreting with all this stuff I've had going on in my neck and my throat, a sore throat, fluctuations in hormone levels, pain and stiffness in the neck can all be symptoms of a misaligned throat chakra. Well, yeah, I mean, physically, my neck is definitely out of alignment. This is definitely true. So Vishuddha, to purify. Instead of fighting with life, we begin to flow with the current of life. The concepts of good and bad begin to fall away, and we see them as pieces of the whole. Everything and everyone becomes magical. So again, in this concept of we're making all of these judgments about what's good and what's bad. So obviously we have preferences for things, but we're so into defining things as good and bad, which I think is really from our self-preservation instinct about fight or flight. That we need to kind of figure out, where, in which situation am I safe, in which situation am I not safe. So I think we've, that's very, instinctive, this good and bad thing, but we do it with everything. And just because we don't like something or someone doesn't mean that they're bad. And, we're all much more complex than being good or bad. So I really like this thing of finding a sense of bliss if this is the ultimate goal of yoga, it's to get to a state of bliss where we're no longer suffering, that we have to be able to see, no longer really see good and bad, but that we just see everything as the situation. It's just what is. And then, of course, I love the concept that we can see everything and everyone as being magical. All right, so I'm just trying to think of, have I really sort of described that well enough? I feel like the throat, so again, now we're getting into these higher states. I feel like it gets much more complicated, and that there's much more sort of digesting of that concept of the throat being able to purify and get to this higher state of vibration, really. The visual, how we're balancing the Vishuddha chakra, using blue around us, staring at the blue sky, staring at the water, wearing blue clothing, something blue around you. So foods, I think all the other ones, what I've come across is foods that are the color of the chakra. So this one, something I read said tree fruits, apples and oranges, anything that fruits that grow on trees. Salt, lemongrass, and ginger. Brahmari pranayama, we did that one. That's the bee breath, the buzzing. Hum is the seed sound. And then yoga. So shoulder stand, right? So you're on your back, your legs are going up into the air. So you're doing this compression of your neck. And then fish, which I have here on the screen, is the counter pose. So fish is where you're on your back, you're pushing your chest up and you're letting your head tip back. Then you're opening up the throat and you're compressing the back of the neck. Vishuddha mudra is you're taking index and thumb fingers and you're interlooping, making circles, taking them together. And then the rest of the fingers all interlace. It's a little tricky to do. So you're trying to just kind of get, right, so the two are circling and then everything else just kind of falls in together. And you're just going to hold that in your lap and try to relax and breathe. And so that is said to balance the energy of the throat. And then another way to balance our throat chakra is to balance that energy is observing and journaling. So journaling, it really could be anything that you feel like you are not expressing, getting that out onto paper. And so just releasing, whatever's going on with you. It's not always a great idea, especially when we're angry about something. It's not always a great idea to speak those words. Again, we're trying to purify so that we're getting to happiness and we're not putting angry energy out into the world. So by writing it out, it's one way of releasing and transforming that angry energy. So again, we're not going to talk about it as being bad, because anger is, again, it's a natural emotion. We perceive it as bad, especially when it's directed at us. It's not such a nice thing, but it's part of the life experience. So just allowing yourself to express that out on paper can allow you to transform that energy. We can just release it out. And then sometimes we see like, oh yeah, I'm either wrong about that. Sometimes when I write things out, I go, oh yeah, this is just all me. It's really all my issue. It doesn't have anything to do with anybody else. Or we let it out and we're like, oh yeah, okay, that's really what I'm feeling. I could acknowledge that now just by writing it out on paper, and I can let some of that go or let it transform. So journaling, observing, when am I holding back? Like in what situations do I not really speak my truth? You don't know, and again, you don't always have to tell everybody everything. But when am I kind of stuffing it down and it's getting bottled up inside of me? Noticing the situations where you speak with kindness, so who is it easy to speak to with kindness and who is that difficult with? Just observing that, having that consciousness, I think helps us to make better life choices when we're conscious. All right, what time is it? How long have I been talking? Too long. And then what are the words you speak to yourself? So again, it's this internal communication where we're really speaking with our true self. What are the words that we're speaking to ourselves? How many negative things are we saying to ourselves? How many positive things are we saying to ourselves? And can we, shift that script to when it's negative to create this more positive energy and to really support ourselves through these, so again, purifying our words to ourselves. And then practicing truthful communication in a positive, healing way, especially to yourself. So kind of interesting to think about communication and vibration. So one of the things I read was even about the tone of our voice. So, we can change the tone of our voice to have it be something that's positive energy or negative energy just by how you're speaking those words. So I think in this thought of transforming ourselves, even in our positions at our jobs, just by imagining that throat as purifying our words. And what would that be like if we just had this really kind and truthful, open, honest communication? Just sort of interesting to think about how our lives would change if we were really good at that. Okay, meditation time. So I'm going to, what am I doing here? I'm going to stop sharing this. So we're going to do music instead. All right, so get comfy. We're just going to go through a guided meditation like we usually do. So start to feel your breath. All right, for a minute I thought the music wasn't playing. Okay. So if the music's too loud or something, where am I? Wrong screen. Just put it in the chat. It may be pretty soft here. Okay. So where are the breath? I'm feeling the breath, just this continuous flow of the breath. So just inhales flowing into exhales, exhales flowing into inhales. Just watching that constant back and forth, letting the body soften. As you breathe. And begin to imagine that the inhale makes the sound so. S-O, so. And then the exhale makes the sound hum. So that's seed sound, H-U-M, hum. The inhales make the sound so. The exhales hum. Again, as though there's no separation between so, the breath just flowing in and out of inhales and exhales, hearing so as you inhale, hum as you exhale. And then let your toes relax. Allow the bottoms of your feet to soften. Still feeling your breath, but letting go of the mantra. Let the tops of your feet relax. And your ankles. Soften your lower legs, knees, and upper legs, hips, pelvis, low back, abdomen, rib cage, spine, shoulder blades, chest, tops of the shoulders, fingers, hands, wrists, lower arms, elbows, upper arms, tops of your shoulders, neck, throat, jaw, and tongue, lips, cheeks, nose, eyes, eyebrows, forehead, scalp. Breath flowing in and out, mind and body letting go with each breath. Imagine the color blue at your throat, at the base of your neck. Blue emanating out from that first cervical vertebrae, base of the neck. Blue radiating forward into the throat. Feeling blue at your throat. A calming, peaceful blue at your throat. Feel your breath flowing through your throat. Each breath flowing through the blue throat chakra. Each breath drawing the calming, purifying energy of blue into your body. The calming, healing energy of blue flowing out of you with each exhale. A sense of peacefulness flowing through you. Peacefulness exhaling out from you. Peacefulness all around you. Each breath flowing through the throat chakra. Feeling balanced energy at the throat. Calm and steady, balanced energy at the throat. Be aware of all the places of tension in your body. Any place where you feel tension, your hips, legs, shoulders, back, jaw. The places that tend to feel tight, stuck, uncomfortable. Imagine those places of tension are clogged with unspoken words and emotions. Unspoken sentences tied up in knots, creating tension in your body, clogging the flow of energy in body and mind. Long, tangled, unspoken sentences clogging your life. All the unexpressed dreams, inner wisdom, emotions, ideas, and all the things you've held back, creating tension in the body. And feel the sorrow that resides in those stuck places in your body, your mind, your life. Imagine all those unspoken words and emotions beginning to unravel and then to flow out through the throat chakra. Stress and tension being purified by the throat chakra. And feel a sense of softness and openness in your throat. Sense of ease in your vocal cords. The blue of the throat chakra healing your true voice. The voice that is unafraid to speak its dreams. Imagine your throat becoming more free and open. Thoughts and emotions unraveling from their stuck places in the body. All the thoughts and dreams you have held back, flowing out freely through your throat. Thoughts and emotions flowing out like a song. The throat free and open. Words untangling from the stuck places in the body. Purified by the throat. Transforming into joy. And feel a sense of lightness growing in the body. Imagine your back free of tension and pain. Your legs and arms able to move freely as you walk. Softness and happiness settling into your face. Imagine what it would feel like to always speak from your true voice, not a harsh voice, but a thoughtful, true voice that never stuffs down your thoughts, dreams, and emotions. Feel your throat open, mind and body relaxed, expressing yourself with love and compassion for yourself and others. And feel your inner strength, your body relaxed as you speak. Imagine writing your feelings, dreams, thoughts in a journal, releasing tension out as you write. Writing compassionately about yourself as you express everything you need to express. Releasing out any bits of tangled, unspoken words. Imagine reading your journal with compassion, noticing what was left unspoken, and reminding yourself that it will get easier to speak with your true voice. Imagine the peaceful power that comes from expressing your true voice. And feel the breath flowing through the throat. Let that breath be a little bit deeper. Imagine going through the rest of your day calm and relaxed. And now we're just gonna stretch. So moving your wrists, your fingers. Maybe a little stretch overhead. And then we'll just drop our chin down towards the chest. So again, just trying to activate that throat chakra. Breath. Trying to bring the head up. And just try to tip your chin up a little bit, very carefully, towards the ceiling. And then head back to center. Turn to look to your right. Gently back to center, turn to look to your left. And then back to center. We're going to do hands at the heart. Nice full inhale. Exhale it out. Thank you all for being here today and sharing this practice. Namaste. All right, guys. So we're going to let Connor have his final say. Thank you, everybody.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much, Christy. That was awesome.
Thanks, Connor.
I'm going to now do the raffle for those of us that are still here. I'm going to commence the spinning of the wheel. Today, we have a prize of a yoga mat with a little carrier like strap attached to it. It comes with it. So it's pretty cool, pretty fundamental for our yoga practice, I feel.
Those little straps are awesome because then you can also use them like for your feet. You can like help stretch your legs too.
Oh yeah. All right, Christina, you are our winner today. Just email us at exos@philly.com and let us know how you want to receive this prize. We can either mail it to you or you can come pick it up in the office. Your call. All right. Congratulations. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into today's session. We'll see you next month.
Thank you, guys. So just, yeah, think about how you're expressing yourself. Super interesting. All right. Thank you, guys.
Definitely. We'll see you, Christy.
All right.
Have a good one.
You too.